magazine. He held his cup of tea in such a way that it exposed his large watch. Even from where I was standing, I knew the thing had probably cost a fortune. When I was younger, my parents taught me how to spot the real ones from the fake ones. They'd also taught me how to steal them. The man was the epitome of the word debonair. The watch, combined with his smooth linen shirt and clean, dark jeans, suggested understated elegance, a man from money. But his pose, the way he held himself, reminded me of a lion on his downtime, relishing his relaxation, knowing he still ruled the land. I'd had such thoughts about him before, but now, up close, I could just feel the power vibrating off of him, filling the room. I wasn't the only one to notice this either. Men in the cafe shot him curious glances, as if they should know who he was, while the women timidly tucked their hair behind their ears, eyes darting to him and back again. I couldn't blame them. The man wasn't stereotypically handsome, and yet you couldn't stop staring at him. At least I couldn't, and that was going to be a problem. I spied a couple getting up from the couch nearest to him and took the opportunity. I walked slowly over and gently, ever so casually, took my seat on the couch. I placed my coffee on the table that sat between us, taking a moment to let my eyes feast on him. He was so close now, just a couple of feet between us. I felt like I was at the zoo, the glass between me and the beast suddenly removed. He was even more striking from this distance. His eyes moved back and forth as they scanned the page, sparking with intelligence, the color of budding leaves. His mouth was wide, twisted in a smirk, and his nose looked slightly too wide for his face, and had obviously been broken a few times. His skin was golden and so smooth that I had to recalculate how old he was. Perhaps he was closer to my age than I had originally thought. Still, he didn't look like any 20-year-old. He didn't look like anyone I'd ever seen before. He brushed his shaggy dark hair behind his ears, his palm grazing his cheekbones, and I had the chance to look away, to not get caught gawking at him, to save myself, but I couldn't help it. I was naive and young and caught in the spark that would create the flames. He looked up from his magazine and our eyes met. I've never believed in love at first sight. I barely believed in lust at first sight. I didn't believe in anything except righting all the wrongs in my life, but at that moment, this man saw me, the real me underneath the bombshell mask. I felt like he must have seen everything. And that's who his smile was for. It reached through me and did something to my heart, to my lungs, to my nerves. It pulled at me, tugged somewhere deep inside, like a window shade being drawn open. It was dangerous to love that feeling, but I did. "Hello," he said, his Mexican accent light and melodic. His teeth were white, his smile captivating, and it took every brain cell to remember why I was there and what I was doing, and that my name was no longer Ellie Watt. It was Eden White, and I had a job to do. I gave him a pretty smile and knew that damn flush was coming back on my cheeks. I had inexperience written all over my face. "Hi," I replied, leaning forward to pick up my coffee, hoping that he'd get a good look at my chest. I didn't have the biggest breasts, but they looked downright perky in this top, and I was certain that I could poke out his eyes with my nipples. Thank God for air conditioning. But his eyes never strayed from mine. Either this man had manners, or he wasn't into women. I'd never considered that scenario in the last couple of weeks. Perhaps my attempt to get to know him would backfire. What use was having womanly charms if he preferred the cock variety? "I'm Javier," he said, extending his hand with the watch on it, the rich brown leather gleaming under the lights. Javier. He now had a name, and from the way his eyes were still cutting into mine, how his grin lit up his face like he'd just won the lottery, I knew Javier wasn't immune to women after all. I ignored the butterflies in my core and placed my hand in his. His shake was strong and warm with confidence. "I'm Eden," I said, trying to feed off his self-assurance. I was Eden now. It had taken me a while to get used to my fake name, but now it was slipping on like fine silk. Maybe pretending to be someone else would be easier than I thought. His thumb rubbed against my knuckle, softly and sweetly, before he let